Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third session of our Audio Insights Safe and Sound series. I'm Adom Yusuf, the Senior Manager for Standards and Technology at the Security Industry Association, and I will be your host for today's podcast. Today, we're diving into the topic of audio and the law. I'm thrilled to welcome our two guests who will lead us through this discussion. Cameron Javdani, the president of SoundSecure, and Brennen Hernandez, marketing communications specialist at Louroe Electronics. To kick things off, I'll turn it over to our panelists to share their opening remarks.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Brennen Hernandez. I'm the marketing communications manager at Louroe Electronics. I've been in the security industry for about a year and a half. Prior to that, I worked in marketing for a software company that specialized in product road mapping. When I want to de-stress from work, I run long distance. I'm also a rock climber. So it's a little bit about me. Cameron?
Thanks, Adom and Brennen. I'm Cameron Javdani, the president and founder of SoundSecure. We're a manufacturer of our audio hardware that pairs with video surveillance cameras. We like to say our customers can hear what their cameras see. I've been doing this in the industry for 14 or 15 years now. And when it comes to state-by-state recording statutes and can I do this or should I do that, I like to think I've heard every question in the book, but I'm sure I'll be surprised by one of them out there. So it's a topic that folks who have heard me speak on before will know I'll go till I'm blue in the face and out of breath about. So good to be with you today.
Thank you, Cameron and Brennen, for the introduction. To explore this topic further, I've prepared a few questions for our panelists. Our first question is, when deploying audio solutions, is it necessary to post signs to inform people they are being recorded?
We certainly always recommend it, right? And we should break down audio solutions maybe a little bit further, because when we talk about speakers to make mass notification announcements or parking lot security to make announcements, there's really no invasion of privacy when you're playing a message to somebody. So the considerations about using signage all boil down to expectations of privacy and giving someone notification that the area that they're entering is not private. We always just recommend give that notification and leave no doubt about whether or not there's an expectation of privacy there. I've read through every state statute that is out there, the federal statutes regarding audio. They all have to do with expectations of privacy. So by giving someone that notice, hey, it's not a private area, you're giving them that notification. And then if they want to leave, they can leave. If they want to stay there, they can stay there. You're giving them that choice.
Yeah, definitely. Compliance is incredibly important. At Louroe, we provide stickers that our customers can use and they can post at their front door, back door, so that when individuals come into their space, they know that they're being recorded. We also, so for like educational facilities or healthcare facilities, there's different requirements. A lot of times parents want to know if their child's being recorded, so principals or whoever is in charge can create a form, legal form. Parents can sign that so they know their child is being recorded. But then it's also important that individuals have an expectation of privacy. So we don't want to put recording devices in bathrooms or showers or places where individuals should have that right for privacy.
Thank you both. Moving on to our next question. What are some best practices when implementing audio monitoring solutions?
So Louroe has some best practices. Our first best practice is when in doubt, seek legal counsel. So if you have any questions related to specific deployment, it's always best to seek legal counsel to ensure you meet all federal and state regulations. Number two, post clear and visible signage. When deploying audio solutions, post signs that inform people that audio recording is occurring to ensure that there's no expectation of privacy. And then lastly, you want to communicate reasons for monitoring, reassuring employees, customers, students, faculty, parents, and guests that audio security solutions are used to enhance overall safety, security, and quality assurance.
Those are great recommendations from the compliance standpoint. And I will say that from a installation standpoint, when you're using audio, you want to place your devices away from any sources of interference and close to the source of the sound you're trying to pick up. So there's a great difference between where you would put cameras to have a wide field of view of an area compared to where you'd want to have a very precise placement for audio pickup. I'll tell you that most troubleshooting calls we get have to do with either placement or cabling. So if you're mindful of those two things, you'll have pretty good success out of the box with audio.
Great. Next, I would like to ask if various states have differing laws concerning the implementation of audio security solutions.
The short answer is yes. There's 50 states out there, but most of them, I want to say 37 or 38 of them are what you call one-party consent states, where if you're involved in the conversation or have consented to the conversation being recorded, then you can record that with no problem. There are 12 that are all-party consent states, meaning not just two people, but everyone in the conversation needs to know and consent that there's recording going on. And then a fun fact, Vermont doesn't have an audio recording statute. So if we have some viewers up in Vermont, it's the Wild West up there, right? But again, regardless of with an all-party consent state, a one-party consent state, we always recommend giving that notification. And it's important to think of, too, that one party or all party is applicable where there's an expectation of privacy. So if you've removed the expectation of privacy to begin with that notification, then all 50 states are in play.
Yeah, that's great. So I live in California. So California is a two-party consent state. So even if I'm not part of a conversation, but I want to record I guess what's happening in a meeting or just a regular conversation, I have to ask each individual within the party whether or not I can record. So if three people are, yes, you can record us, and one person's no, then I legally cannot record the conversation.
To follow up, do you think there is a need for SIA to provide a guide for audio laws, or are there other resources out there that can provide this?
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion. We get a lot of calls about audio in the law, and even though I'm not a lawyer, I think it would be nice to have a standardized set of best practices or regulations that you can easily just open up a book or just go on a landing page, find that information for your state, and it would be nice to have a streamlined knowledge base or library of everything relating to audio in the law. That'd be incredibly helpful. It would save us a lot of time, because you go on the internet, some people say there's like 11 states that are two-party consent, and others say 15 states are all-party consent. So there's a little confusion around some things. So it'd be nice if SIA could create that streamlined database of information.
Absolutely. I echo everything Brennen just said. And if we had a industry standard to work off of versus SoundSecure's resources or Louroe's resources or industry lawyers' resources, if there's an industry-wide standard, I think that would go a long way in terms of making everyone understand better the do's and don'ts when it comes to audio, because again, they're different than video, they're different than access control that everyone's used to. So if we had that industry-wide standard, I think it would be a great resource for the industry.
Thank you. My final question to you both is, when and where can users record audio with their video security systems?
In most places is the short answer. I will tell you that most of our installations are where you have an employee that is interacting with a client or a customer in a public-facing area. So think cash registers, think convenience store counters, think bank teller windows. In the public sector, when we work with different government agencies, you have an investigator or a detective who's in an interview room with a witness or a suspect or a victim. In those areas where you want to know exactly what happened and avoid the he said, she said, or a misunderstanding, audio is a great tool to use. We like to say it's an unbiased reproduction or an unbiased account of what was actually said. I think Brennen earlier mentioned that you want to avoid using audio in restrooms. That's absolutely correct. Just like you wouldn't use a video camera in a restroom, right? There are places that are not appropriate. We also don't see a lot of use in the residential market, especially single family homes, because there's such a heightened expectation of privacy on the interior of those homes. But if you look at most common places where you would walk into a building and see the smile, you're under 24/7 surveillance stickers on the door, those are generally the sorts of places where audio is a good fit.
Yeah, that's great. I think people generally want to feel safe. They want to be able to go into a store and not worry about, any criminal trying to rob them. They want to ensure that their personal belongings in their car are safe. So those use cases of audio being used in parking lots, I think in general, when individuals want to implement audio security solutions, I believe business owners or organizations utilize audio security solutions to deter criminal activity, of course, quicker emergency response times, real-time monitoring, and to provide overall judicial quality audio evidence. So a lot of times, if a crime does take place, we have this judicial audio recording that can be used as evidence and hopefully help that individual's case.
Thank you both for this discussion. Stay tuned for our next Audio Insights Safe and Sound series on audio analytics. Please let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thank you.